Okay, Anthony has already agreed to being recorded from our last session. So this is session two. Okay, so Mr. Wagner, since our last session, in our last conversation when you were here, have you noticed any changes in your procrastination?
Uh, yes, it's actually gotten better because I kind of tried to make a routine. Um, for instance, I put different chores in my notes in my phone, and I check them off as I get them done, and it kind of gives me a visual of what needs to be done so I can try to execute it. And also, like I was referring to with the work calls, the calls that I get from work, I've when they send me a message, a text message, I'll pin that text message at the top of my text thread and I'll leave it there until I address whatever the issue is and then I'll drop it back down. So that gives me a visual as well to have something to work towards.
Okay, well, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that you found a way to kind of work through those things. And what feelings came up when you followed through on those tasks, when you were able to reach back out to those employees in a timely manner?
It felt good. It gave me a refreshed feeling, a sense of accomplishment because I had gotten the task done.
Okay, and so I'm not quite sure. So just for clarification, were there any tasks that you were unable to get completed?
Yes. Yeah, there were some tasks that I wasn't able to get completed.
Okay, and when you were unable to complete those tasks, how did that make you feel?
Mm, a bit, a bit defeated, but I feel like I've done well with my prioritizing. Uh, so when I don't, I know I'm not going to be able to get everything done. So it doesn't make me feel as bad, as it would have before when I just wasn't getting anything done.
Okay, that's great. Well, that's a huge accomplishment. You
Yes,
should be
ma'am.
proud of yourself. Did anything from our last session stand out to you when we last spoke?
Mm, Not really. Just one thing that kind of stuck out was when you were saying not to try to achieve the big task all at once, but try to break it down into sections or different tasks. So that's kind of what I've been doing and what's been helping me get more done on a daily basis.
Okay. So, can you walk me through a recent time that you did procrastinate?
Yeah, sure.
And just and to follow up on that, and tell me what were you thinking or feeling just before you chose to delay that task, if this even happened at all.
Well, one instance, my toilet in my master bathroom, it would got to the point to where the water wouldn't fill back up. So you'd have to take the lid off, push the little valve down for the water to fill back up in order to flush the toilet. And it got to a point where you'd have to do it every time you use the toilet. But I just, got kind of caught up in other tasks, other things I was trying to check off the list. And that just kind of got put on the back burner. I actually just fixed it today, this morning. But any other time, I just use the bathroom and just keep filling it back up or go to another bathroom in the house. It's, I guess just, being lazy, I guess.
So you didn't feel anything before you were delaying that task. It's just one of those things you just continue to place to the side, or kept telling yourself, "I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it done."
Right. I guess it's kind of one of those things that wasn't at the forefront of the list because it wasn't as important because there were alternative solutions.
Okay, that's good though. You got it done.
Right.
That's a big deal. So yeah, you're making huge strides, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Are there particular times of the day, environment, or any types of tasks that seem to trigger your procrastination more than others?
Mm, no, not really. I can't say that it's anything that makes me procrastinate. One thing versus another. I don't think so. It's just I guess it's just one of those things.
Yeah. And so you haven't, I just want to make sure, like, when these things happen, you're not giving yourself like self talks. And what I mean by that, like, do you notice that when you procrastinate, that maybe you will say something to yourself, like, oh, I'll just do this later, or it'll be okay, or it can wait a little longer?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. Because those are some things that you also can work on now that we are, pinning those tasks and we're doing the smaller things. You just want to make sure, as far as in your head, those self talks, that you're not putting those things off, or start rephrasing those things, saying, you know what, let me go ahead and get that out the way, or let me just go ahead and do this.
Right.
So that's good that, once again, I'm just, happy that you are making progress.
Right.
So, how does procrastination conflict with the kind of person and parent and partner that you want to be? Like, have anything changed in that department, or are there still things that you need to work on?
Say that again.
So, how does procrastination conflict with the type of parent or spouse or friend that you would like to be?
Oh yeah. Procrastination, it weighs in those areas as well. Uh, there are some things that I may procrastinate with my kids. My wife, she may be proactive and say, "Hey, we need to do this, and this for the kids," and she'll give me a long list, and I'll forget half of the things on my list, and then a week later, she'll ask me if I did something, and I would have completely forgotten about it. So that causes a delay for what I'm supposed to be doing for my kids as well as my wife. So I mean, it hasn't caused a conflict, but I could see where it could.
Well, has there been any improvement since our last session with any of those areas?
Yeah, I think there's been a little bit of improvement in all of those areas because just like I say, just breaking things down, it gives me an opportunity to get more done as a whole. Now, if only I can work on a routine to getting up because I'm not a morning person. I feel like I could get a lot more done in the day if I got up a couple hours earlier every day.
What goals or responsibilities are most meaningful to you right now?
Goals. Well, one goal is coming up. My son, he's getting ready to graduate, so we're planning on throwing this big party for him. So I have a goal to get through that so he has a successful graduation and party, and then even past that, try to get him all geared up uh, to get ready to go to college in the spring. I mean, in the fall. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, congratulations on that. I know that makes you a proud parent,
Yes, ma'am.
getting them all ready for college. If you can imagine yourself having overcome procrastination, what does your day to day look like if you, in the perfect world, if you did overcome this procrastination?
Um, I think my days would be a lot less stressful, and stress could alleviate several things. I think I may sleep better because I won't have to, have all these things running through my head. And having more sleep, I think I have more energy. So I think I just, have a better day, a more positive attitude and outlook on things as a whole.
Okay. And then also getting up early, right?
For sure.
To get all those things done.
Right.
Okay, what has worked for you in the past, even if it was only a short time? Has there anything besides the doing the little task and like pinning and writing it down? Has anything else worked in the past that you noticed, or that's been by far the most helpful?
It's definitely been the most helpful. But I guess in the past, there's really nothing that I can think of that, you know, triggered doing better. It was just, kind of one of those things. So I kind of snap into it when I just get in the mood and I have a run of when I'm just doing really well, and then there may be, a flip just may switch, and then I just start procrastinating again. I don't know the cause of it though.
What about those days that, and I think we've all had these days from time to time where you do get in bed a little bit early.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, did you see a difference in that when you're able to get a little bit more rest?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think when I get more rest, like I was saying in a perfect world, when I don't have all those other stressors and nothing to worry about, uh, feel like if I could get more sleep, I'd have more energy and get more done. But that's something that I'm working on, and I know I need to work on, and I think that it would make things a lot better.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Would you be willing to try something a little bit different, be a little bit open to a small change this week? And that small change would be what I call the 5 minute rule or setting one daily priority. So the 5 minute rule. So there's two things that can go with it. The 5 minute rule that in between things you're like, okay, I'm only going to take 5 minutes, then I'm going to start back. Or you can take tasks and it can be multiple tasks, but you can work on those small multiple tasks for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other, as I stated, is just setting one daily priority. So even if that daily priority is, let me say your son is getting ready for college, and we're gonna say, "Hey, son, we're gonna start getting your totes and packing up your stuff and organizing it." Mm-hmm. So maybe that could be a priority that day. I'm not quite sure what takes precedence in your life right now.
Right.
But maybe you can do that. Do you think that you're willing to be open to do that this week as your homework?
Yeah, I can try that.
Okay. And what might get in the way of trying that? How can we plan for that together? So in case something comes up, for you to do that 5 minute thing or that priority, that one thing that's a priority. Mm-hmm. What do you see being an issue where you're not able to do it?
Mm, I don't really see any issues to why I should not be able to do it.
Okay. And what do you think that task will be? Is it when you want to do the 5 minute thing, or would you like to just have one big task for the week, a priority?
I guess one big task.
Okay, and what do you want? What would you like for that big task to be?
I would like to have everything completed for my son's graduation party.
So the graduation party. Mm-hmm. So we're going to work together to plan that. Okay. So for the party, I want you to make a list of all the things that need to be done and break it down in categories. I don't want you doing everything for the party in one day. This is going to be overall over the week.
Right.
So if you need to call the rental company and get quotes, I want you to, well, first make a list of everything that you need. That's going to be your first day. This is what I need for this party. This is what I need to execute. So if you need rentals, one day you're going to call for all the rentals. If it's food the next day, you need to call caterers and get quotes. That will be the next day. Then the day after that, you're just going to fall down that list of everything that's needed.
Right.
But you're not going to do everything at one time.
Okay.
We're going to break it down.
Right.
Okay? Break it down like a brick. And we're going to get that taken care of. Okay? And so, how have your spouse, children, or coworkers responded when you do follow through on things? So I know you said you did that pen, to be able to answer those questions. So do you feel like that you're getting better responses from those people that's working with you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they know, they're thanks for taking my call, or I appreciate, they've shown gratitude.
Okay, so they're grateful. Okay, good. That's a good deal. And what kind of support feels helpful to you? Reminders, check-ins, or something else?
Both reminders and check-ins, because I do need reminders, and I don't mind someone checking in or following up because I got so much going on, so I don't take any offense to it.
Okay. So we've already picked our tasks, and that's going to be the graduation. Down. And we are going to, I'm going to give you a worksheet that I have here so you can break it down in steps. And you said that you will be willing to do this before our next session. So this is a procrastination worksheet. And then also, in case you decide to try the 5 minute rule, is pick one small step, set a timer for 5 minutes, and start. So if you do change your mind, but even if you're doing this, I want you to still kind of follow that 5 minute rule. And what I mean by that is, so for instance, if you are going through and you're planning, calling the caterer, after you get off that phone with that first, couple of people, take yourself a break. You don't want to become overwhelmed. But this worksheet is going to help you. It's going to help you identify what tasks you've been avoiding and what is the task. So we can go ahead and do that. And then it's break it down into 2 or 3 small steps. And then we're going to try the 5 minute rule, and then you're going to have a daily reflection. And I have it broken down into days for you. And we're going to also, at the end, it just talks about what did you learn this week, something you learned about yourself, something that helped me take action, one thing I want to improve on next week. So this is your worksheet, and we're going to work on your son's graduation. That's going to be the focus. So when I see you on our next session, that party should be planned.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
We're not going to do it all at one time.
Better be planned because the actual party is the following week.
Oh, yeah, let's get that done. Well, do you have any questions or concerns or anything else that you would like to talk about today?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. I thank you for coming in, and make sure that you do all the work. And if you need me, I'm here.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.